You've heard the old adage that time heals all wounds, but when time's not on your side, there's a lesser-known saying that deer heal wounds much faster. Yeah, no, that one's not real, but the science of deer healing wounds is. And to get to that point in medicine, scientists had to first put antlers on mice. Stay with me, it's all gonna make sense in a minute. Deer are so underrated. They are the only mammals that can completely regenerate an entire organ from scratch. Like, we can regenerate a good chunk of our livers, but that's nothing compared to what deer can do. Every spring, deer shed an entire organ from their heads. And by the end of the summer, they are growing it back like it was nothing. Antlers are the overlooked organs that hold the key to fast healing and regrowth for all mammals. They are the fastest growing bone on any animal, and they grow so fast because of special antler stem cells. In 2023, a team of researchers in China and Denmark published their investigation into these speedy cells in the journal Science. They monitored the kinds of cells that were present in the antler nubs during each stage of growth, and they found a few transition points throughout the process. The first wave of cells show up 10 days before the old antlers fall off. These cells stand by and await instructions to start building new bone. Then, the old antlers fall off, marking day 0. The cells that dominate at this point are more involved in making fibrous connective tissue that attaches to the base. 5 days later, blood vessel and immune cells come onto the scene, making sure that the antlers get all the nutrients and protection they need to grow. And finally, the key ingredient is introduced: antler stem cells. These are the cells that turn into the cartilage and bone that make up antlers. Over the next 3 months, these stem cells move so they are always at the outer tip of the growing antler. And while they're moving out, the deeper layers that they leave behind are replaced with more sturdy bone material. So deer are able to completely replace a lost organ in 3 months. We think this is normal. We see it all the time, so we think it's normal, but there's no other mammal that can just make a new organ appear out of nowhere. And there's no other animal that grows something like that so fast, which got the laboratory dwellers thinking. If we can take these incredible antler stem cells and put them in another mammal, maybe deer don't have to be the only ones with this superpower. Then maybe we could grow new bones when we damage our old ones, and do it in record time. But first, scientists needed to see if antler stem cells could function when they're not in a deer. Because if there's something else about deer that makes these cells so effective, then putting them in another mammal would do diddly squat. So they did the first thing that you learn in How to Be a Scientist 101 and got some mice. Mice are mammals, deer are mammals, and we're mammals. What could go wrong? The scientists transplanted those antler cells into mice, and sure enough, the mice started growing small antlers. And yes, they are just as bizarre as you would expect mice with antlers to look. But I mean, really, antlers are not on the approved list of body parts for mice, so it might have been more concerning if they looked like they belonged there. The researchers essentially made a kind of real-life jackalope. But the big news here was that we learned that we could in fact get these magic deer cells to do what they do in other mammals too. So once that was established, it was time to figure out how to use these cells to replace broken bones with not broken bones. After all, what's growing antlers if not adding bone to your body? So when the same cells are put on broken femur bones, they don't make you a leg antler, they fill the gap in the bone. Or at least they did for a bunch of rabbits in that same study. And these incredible antler cells don't stop at repairing broken bones. Another study out of China applied antler stem cells to rats that were missing chunks of their skin, like you would if you fell down a hill and ended up with a big gash on your arm. And yes, rats can heal their own skin, but when the antler stem cells were helping out, they did it 9 days faster. Which makes sense, because part of the appeal of studying antler stem cells in the first place is just how incredibly fast they work. These researchers think that the speed comes from a higher concentration of growth factors in antler stem cells than what other mammals have in their repair cells. So when the rat cells are exposed to antler stem cells, they start multiplying like never before. This means that antler stem cells can help other mammals grow and repair their bodies faster than they would on their own. Now, none of this has been tested in humans yet, because the research is so new that we haven't fully debated the ethics of putting these cells into us. But antler stem cells are similar to the cells we use to grow our own bones. One day, we may be able to use that to our advantage. So if anyone's got a bone to pick with deer, they should pick the antler. It might come in handy if they ever get injured. You know what also comes in handy? Our patrons. People who give money to SciShow on Patreon make this channel possible. If you are a patron, thank you very much. We could not do this without you. If you would like to become a patron, there's probably a link in the description, I'd say, or you could just Google it. Look, we're not making this hard. You can do it. You don't have to, but the people who do it, they're the real MVPs. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying.